Welcome back, mamas. Y'all, today we are going to talk about the power of our mind. The power of our mind, how important it is for you to take hold of that and why it will change your life if you do. Okay, so let's get to it. Do you wish you had control of your days, that you had a rhythm, but instead feel overwhelmed, scattered, and like there's never enough time? You're in the right place. I'm Danielle, a recovering workaholic, wife, and stay-at-home mom of 2 girls. I've learned how to reclaim my time and find purpose and freedom so I can be present with my kids and feel like myself again. Here, we embrace where we are, but we don't stay there. So if you're ready to trade the chaos for clarity, the guilt for grace, and the endless to-do list for aligned flow, grab the kiddos a snack and toss in that laundry because I know you're multitasking, and let's do this because your time, your purpose, and you matter. Okay, mamas. So this episode was inspired by like the little engine that could, right? The whole I think I can, I think I can, I think I can little engine that was chugging up the hill and having a really hard time doing it, but kept telling itself, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, till it reached the top and then plateaued out and, was on smoothly after that. Okay, that is like mom life, right? That is like mom life. Mom life can be really hard at times. And I just want to take a minute to remind you that we have control even when it feels like we don't. That we have control even when it feels like things are so hard, even when it feels like, we might not be able to make it up that big hill, right? That we don't know if we can keep going. If we tell ourselves that we think we can, we will. We will make it, right? Like we can do hard things. We can do hard things. That our control lies within our own power. Our head, our brain, our mind controls how we are going to feel, how we are going to think, and how our lives will go. And we have control over that, right? We might have these thoughts. We might have these moments. We might have these tough times a lot, right? A lot in mom life. We might have them a lot more maybe in mom life than we used to. And we might deal with a lot of things that are really hard as moms, but we have control over our minds. And I want to read a quote here from David Burns that says, when you change the way you think, you can change the way you feel. When we change the way we think, we can change the way that we feel, right? And when we don't want to feel the way that we're feeling, we just need to change the way we're thinking, okay? And that can change the way that we feel. That's the impetus behind the whole thing, right? Is what we are thinking. Another way, Maxime Lagasse says, you can achieve anything you want if you just change the way you think. Will you? She ends it with a quote or a question. Will you? Will you change the way you think? Like, will we do this? It is something that we can do. It is something that we can control. We get to control our attitudes. We get to control how we are thinking, right? Even when we have thoughts that creep in that are negative and all these other things, we can recognize them and then change them. And we can just change the way that we want to think, the way that we would want to feel, the way that we would want this situation to go. We can just take a moment and recalibrate, right? Reset. That is my new word for this year, right? My word of the year is reset. We can just hit that reset button and try again, right? That is what it's all about. And I was reminded of this over the weekend when I was on a girls' trip and things were maybe not going the exact way that I thought they would or I had hoped they would. We had a rough start to our trip. One of our girls couldn't make it. Like there was a lot of things that were like going wrong and not really wrong, but things that were unexpected and things that maybe weren't going the way that we thought that they would, right? And there's a time change and we were losing 3 hours and we were going to be, staying up way past like our bedtime and we had woken up way too early and we were going to a concert. And like by the time the concert came, I was feeling horrible. Like I felt awful. And I just was like trying to power through and make it to the next day, right? And then again, I didn't get an amazing night of sleep. And I woke up the next morning and this was our last day. It's a really short trip. We were only there for 2 days. And I was like, okay, Danielle, what can I do right now? I need to change the way that I'm thinking. I need to pray. I need to ask God to help me to enjoy this day, to be present in the moment. I need to ask God that I am a light today and not a darkness, right? No matter how I'm feeling, that I am able to be a light today and enjoy everyone and be present in my moments and be with my girls in the present moment, right? Like, not my girls, like my children. I'm here on a girls' trip to be with these girls, right? Even though I know I'm missing out at things at home, even though I know there's a lot going on at home that I feel like I should be there for, I'm not there, right? I am on this girls' trip. I am somewhere else and things are not going necessarily as planned. And I am still having fun, right? But it was just different, right? It just wasn't exactly what I was thinking of in my head, right? And yet, I was not going to let that stop me, right? I was like, okay, no, Danielle, you have to think about this. Pray, ask God for help, and then decide, make a decision, right? Change the way you're thinking and decide that you are going to think positive thoughts, that you are going to have fun today, that you are going to enjoy these girls in these moments, right? This is what we can do with our mom life, right? We can get caught up in things that go wrong. We can get caught up in things that didn't go our way. We can get caught up in, maybe in the fact that you thought that things would be going a different way in your mind, or you would be feeling a different way because you now really had everything that you thought you wanted. You're staying at home, you have these kids, you have this life, and you thought you would be really happy in it. And for some reason, you're not happy. Things aren't going exactly as you thought they would. And instead of like caving in and giving into those negative thoughts and wondering what's wrong with you and why you're not enjoying this and what could be wrong, and thinking that something is wrong with you, just change your thinking. Right? Nothing is wrong with you. It's just, what is it that you need to do to change your thinking to a positive way? How can you enjoy this? How can you get some of that spark back? How can you do that? And you just need to reflect and pause and think about that, right? I have another quote here from Brian Tracy that says, "Your life is a reflection of your thoughts. If you change your thinking, you can change your life." If you change your thinking, you can change your life because your life is a reflection of your thoughts, right? Another way to say this, Les Brown goes one step further to say, change your thinking, change your life. Your thoughts create your reality. Practice positive thinking. Act the way you want to be, and soon you will be the way you act. Act the way you want to be, and soon you will be the way you act, he says. I truly believe this, and I don't really like the whole term fake it till you make it, but it's sometimes true when you aren't necessarily feeling a way, but you actually want to be feeling that way, right? This is something that you've thought about and that you actually want for your life. You want to be happy. You want to be enjoying your moments, but for some reason you are not. Change the way you are thinking and change the way you are acting because of your positive thinking. And soon you will be that way. Even if you start out just acting like it, kind of goes back to the affirmations we were talking about a few weeks ago, right? You might not be able to fully believe them when you start saying them, but once you start saying them, you will start to believe them. And then you will start to be that person. You will start to be acting that way. You won't just be acting, you will then be being that way, right? And so this is so powerful. Our minds are so powerful. And you as a mother just need to think about what it is that you want. How do you want to be? What do you want in your life? Do you want to be happy and fulfilled? I know the answer is yes. And if for some reason you are not feeling that way, you are feeling stressed and overwhelmed and scattered and all of these other things that you don't want to be feeling, we need to change the way that we're thinking, right? This is what we need to do. And so I just wanted to keep this episode super short and sweet and kind of just give you a glimpse into my weekend and then how we can be inspired by the little engine that could, because you can. You can. This is possible for you. I completely enjoyed my last day in Vegas. I did change my thinking and it changed the entire rest of my trip. I enjoyed it so much and I had a lot of fun and I was able to enjoy the people I was with and their presence exactly how I wanted to and not be, defeated or, stuck in what if this had been different or what if this had been a different weekend or just stuck in a different place, right? I changed it and you are able to do that with your mom life as well. Our minds are powerful and when they are filled with these positive thoughts, that's amazing. But we also have to know where we are going. We have to know, we have to get grounded, right? We have to build a foundation. We have to figure out what's important to us and why. A lot of times we're feeling super lost because we kind of have a new identity now as a mother, and it might not look the same as it used to, right? And that can be very unsettling. And you can think that you have everything that you always wanted, and yet for some reason, you are still unhappy, but you don't know why. So we have to go back to the foundation and kind of rebuild that. And so that is what I do in the coaching program. If you go to prioritizewithpurpose.com, prioritizewithpurpose.com, sign up for a prioritization clarity call with me, and I will help you get started on this path. We will build like a roadmap to your future. It's a really cool process I would love to help you with. And so until Thursday, y'all, if you have been struggling with any of this thinking that you don't want to have, stinking thinking, they call it, right? If you have been struggling with that, try to change your mindset around it. Reframe what is going on. Pray, ask God for help, ask God to help you change and see the positive in things, to be the light, right? Like I always ask him to help me, like give me his light so I can be a light to others instead of, bringing this like doom and gloom or, some kind of thinking that's my own. I ask God to give me his thinking, right, towards things. So it's super helpful for me, and I hope it will be helpful for you as well. And so until Thursday, y'all, I hope you enjoyed today's episode, mama. If so, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts and then hit share and send this to a mom who needs this in her day. I'll meet you right here on Thursday. Keep smiling, y'all.